There are a lot of elements of Christianity that other religions share. For example, Christianity starts foundationally with a belief in God. Other religions have this belief in God, the monotheistic religions. Notice the kind of God I'm talking about here, though. I'm not talking about a force in the universe. I'm talking about a person. And this person is different from that which he created. So it isn't like everything is God, kind of the pantheism of the East, but rather you have a person who creates something other than himself. So there's a distinction between the two. Part of what he created were personal beings, human beings in particular. In addition to all the animals, there are creatures that are different than everything else. And there are other religions who share this as well. Although not all religions really make this clear distinction. I think in Hinduism, you don't have a clear distinction, at least in some forms of Hinduism, between these different kinds of creatures, because you have transmigration of the soul and reincarnation. There's an interchangeability between animals and humans in that regard. But when it comes to Christianity, and Judaism shares this, God has created human beings as something unique and special, made in some sense in his image. Now, since God is not physical, it's not in the physical body here, but there's some immaterial feature of human beings that sets them apart from all other creatures. There's another observation that can be made about human beings from the perspective of the Christian and biblical worldview, and that is that human beings are both noble and cruel, to use the language of Francis Schaeffer. There's a certain nobility and dignity of human beings that sets them above the rest of the animal kingdom, and we can see this when we see human beings, on their best behavior, as it were, the kinds of great works of art they produce, the great humanitarian gestures that they do, and we see this and we think human beings are special. On the other hand, human beings can be terribly cruel. There's something twisted and broken about human beings. So we have this anomaly. This is a view of Christianity that is obvious in the world when we look around us. We see this contradiction almost, the goodness, the dignity, and the cruelty, the badness of human beings. And the biblical worldview helps us to make sense of this. Man was created with nobility, made in the image of God, but because of rebellion against God, something happened. Something got broken. Something got twisted. And a twisted and broken human being leads to a twisted and broken world. But there's hope. God didn't just leave it at that, though he might have. Out of love, he reached down with a rescue effort. And the rescue effort wasn't just to toss some teaching our way and hope that we would live better lives, but the effort entailed, and this is where Christianity is absolutely unique, the effort entailed God becoming a man himself to communicate in the most clear form possible his intentions and desires, and to make a sacrificial provision for pardon for man's crimes against God. And so the incarnation, people have heard this word, that's what it means, God becoming a man in Jesus. That's unique. And what Jesus did then was to take the penalty for the crimes of men upon himself so that human beings could be freed. He took the rap for their crimes against God so that those who put their trust in him then could receive the pardon that the Father offered. And this is another unique element. Not only does God come down to reach out to man, but he gives him a free pardon of his crimes. The solution to the problem is not in making man better. Okay, let's make up for past deeds gone bad. Now, that isn't going to work. The solution is grace, is an act of unmerited mercy on God's part. It is not by any moral behavior that I qualify for salvation. It is actually my sins, my crimes against God that qualify me for pardon and rescue. And it's a rescue that God is willing to do graciously as we respond to that gift.